everyone, my name is Hannah. Welcome to a new video and welcome to Bookmas Day 2. This is going to be my end of the year book tag, which I know it's a little late to be doing this. Usually people film this in like October or early November and I'm filming it in December, but what can you do? I still want to do this tag, so I might have to tweak a couple of the questions to this. So let's just get right into it. So the first question is a book that you started but still haven't finished yet or still want to finish before the end of the year. And for this, I don't really have a book that I have started and haven't finished yet that I want to, but I do have a book that I've had since June and haven't picked up and that I've put on several TBRs and just haven't gotten to it. And that is Glow by Raven Kennedy. This is book 4 in the Plated Prisoner series. Like I said, I've had this since it came out in June and I've put it on so many TBRs and I just haven't gotten to it. Rachel from Ravenhaired Reader and I had planned to buddy read this and we just keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And so we do still want to read this. It's just, we just haven't done it yet. So we want to try to get to it, but we just keep putting it off. I'm going to put this one on here because it's like the closest answer that I can have to this question without saying like nothing. So there's that. Question 2 is an autumnal book to help you transition to the end of the year. And this question is one that I'm going to tweak because, like I said, it's already well past autumn. We're into winter now. I'm ready for the wintry books. So I'm going to tweak this question and say if there's any wintry atmospheric reads that I want to get to since I'm in winter. So I have 2 answers for this one. The first one being The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. The first book, Once Upon a Broken Heart, had some very winter atmosphere and I really, really liked that. And I think this one is going to be the same, especially looking at the map. It just looks very wintry, like with the naked trees and stuff. And it's set in the north, like in the mountains and stuff. So I feel like it's going to have the wintry atmospheric vibes that the first book had. And I think that the writing is going to be just as whimsical as the first book. So I'm really excited to get to this one. I've had it for a little while, ever since I read the first book. So I'm hoping to finally get to this one this month. And then the second kind of wintry read that I want to try to get to is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace, which is a figure skating hockey player romance, and I think they kind of like butt heads and it just sounds really, really cute. And obviously when you have like ice skating sports, it just reminds me of winter, and I personally love hockey. I love hockey. I cannot wait to go to hockey games this season. I'm so excited. So I hope that it gives me like everything that I want out of like a hockey player romance. And I love that she is a figure skater and so like they have to be on the rink together. It just sounds like it's going to be really cute, and so I'm really excited to get to this one. Question 3 is what new releases are you still waiting for? And I have 2 for this. So even if I would have filmed this back in like October or November, I would have had the same answers. So I have 2 releases that I am waiting for during December. And the first one is Daisy Hates 2, The Great Undoing. That title was just revealed and it comes out on December 15th. It is the sequel to the like Daisy Hates Magnolia Parks universe. So we've got the first 2 Magnolia Parks books and then we have one Daisy Hates book, but they're basically all in the same story. It's just what characters we're following, and so this one is mainly Daisy Hates. And you all know I read and loved the Magnolia Parks universe books earlier this year and I absolutely adore them, and I have been so hyped for Daisy Hates 2 to come out, and so I'm very, very excited for this one. I will be picking it up probably right away when it comes out. I'm just realizing now that I didn't put Daisy Hates 2 on my December TBR. Neat. Well, it's on my December TBR. I'm going to be reading it this month, I'm sure. And then the second new release that I am waiting for in December is Zodiac Academy 8, Sorrow and Starlight, I think is what it's called. So this was originally supposed to be the finale to the Zodiac Academy series, which I like binge read and absolutely loved. I think back in like April, I read all the books in 1 month. It's just like a fun little time. Like it's nothing too serious, but the plot does actually like get good. Like it's a bully romance set at like a magical academy. and I just ate those books up when I read them. But I did start to feel, especially in book 7, which was originally supposed to be the last book, it was supposed to be a 7-book series, I felt like they were dragging the story out just a little bit. And so then I was like, okay, book 8 is going to be the finale, but now they've recently announced that there's going to be 9 books in it. So I'm a little bit skeptical of book 8. Like, I was already kind of feeling like the story needed to be wrapping up. So I'm a little worried. I'm not going to lie. But I am still very, very excited to read it. But I will say I might not get to it in December because I have heard that some characters from the spin-off series are going to have points of view in this book, and I want to read the entirety of the spin-off series before going into this book then, so I can like really know those characters. So the spin-off series being like the Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac, something like that. The first book is Dark Fae, which I read in November. So that's a 5-book series. I want to read that and finish that series before going into Zodiac Academy 8, especially since this is not the finale for that. But I am still really excited for it. I'm just like a little teensy bit nervous about it. Question 4 is books that you want to read before the end of the year. So basically my whole December TBR would be great. So if you haven't seen that yet, you can go watch that. I'll try to leave it linked down below if you haven't seen it yet. But I will highlight 2 books that I really do want to get to before the end of the year. The first one being Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. I'm so hyped for this book. I cannot wait. I really like Carissa Broadbent's writing. I read The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and that one is going to make my favorites of the year list, and I'm just like really, really excited for this one. So I want to try to get to that one for sure before the end of the year. And then the other book that I want to try to get to is A Twist of the Blade by S.M. Gaither. This is the second book in the Shadows and Crowns series. So I read the first book earlier this year, and I just want to continue the series. I don't want to keep putting it off because I think the 5th and final book comes out next year, and so I want to read up to that point so I can finish that series when the final book comes out. And I've had this one for a little while, and I just really want to try to get to it, and I'm really excited to see where the story is going to go, especially after the ending in the first book. So those 2 are like high on my priority list for December. Question 5 is a book you think you could read and still like shock you and become a fave of the year. And for that, I definitely think Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent could potentially be a favorite this year. So like I said, I'm very, very hyped for that one. I know Rachel read and loved it, and I'm just like, I'm really excited for it. I think that one could become a fave. And then the final question is, have you made any reading plans for next year? And not really. I am a mood reader, so I plan to just mood read and do my thing. I have started thinking about some like, not necessarily like specific to reading, but more like reviewing things for next year. And that is that I think I'm going to try to not do star ratings anymore. I find the the process of choosing a star rating for books to be kind of tricky and kind of stressful. So it's like hard for me to pinpoint down to like a number star of like how I felt about a book. And I feel like when I talk about like a 5-star book, I feel like you can really tell when a book is 5 stars for me. Like whenever I talk about A Court of Mist and Fury, it's very clear that that's a 5-star book for me. Like I'm very excited. I'm very animated about talking about it. You can just tell. And then there's some books where I'm like, I don't really know. Like, is it a 5-star? I don't want to not give it a 5-star because it's not as good as other 5-star books I've read, but then it also doesn't feel like a 4-star or a 4.5, and I just struggle with it, and I kind of just want to talk about my feelings about the book and how I enjoyed it rather than just being like, oh yeah, it was a 4-star book, and like kind of leaning into that versus actually talking about my thoughts and feelings on the book, if that makes sense. So I think I might try it at least for like a month or 2 and see how I like it. I think I'm going to start the year off not giving star ratings. We'll see how it goes because part of my brain is like, you have to put it into a category. You can't just leave it. So we'll see how that goes. But that is like the only like plans that I have as far as like reading and rating goes for next year. So there you have it. That is the end of the year book tag. A very late one, a little bit of a modified one, but I did still want to do it because I do like these questions. I think it's a fun way to kind of wrap up the year and talk about like my final reading plans for the year. If you made it to the end of this video, leave the like shining star emoji down below to let me know that you made it to the end. And don't forget to click like and subscribe while you're down there if you enjoyed this video. It helps support me, it helps support my channel, and I would really appreciate it. And thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I will see you all in my next video for Bookmas Day 3. Bye!